Yeah, how's it going?
Video's frozen, your video.
No, I haven't turned it on yet.
Okay.
Let's get that going and put that one up. There we go.
How are you?
Fucking hot and tired, eh?
Yeah, no, I've been the aircon running here close to me.
We get started, and I say greetings to one and all, and welcome to this week's net. Those wishing to join this net using Zoom may do so now, as Zoom is open. If you do not have the Zoom link, please contact me on WhatsApp 082-859-2684, and I'll send you the link with the greatest of pleasure. So today is Sunday, 8th of October, 2023, and the time is 19:05. We begin the weekly net with the radio amateur check-ins on the Roodepoort repeater for 5 minutes before proceeding. This net is broadcast every Sunday evening starting at 1900 and is broadcast for the benefit of radio amateurs, disaster relief CERT volunteers, and members of the general public. This net is therefore open to all interested parties. Everyone is welcome to participate using either amateur radio, Zoom, or both. And I'd also like to remind all the radio amateurs who have not checked in that you do not need to be a member of any group or club to check in or to use the repeater or any other amateur radio bands. All that is required from you is that you have a valid amateur radio license issued by ICASA, which automatically grants you this right to use any of the bands at any time. There is no need to ask for or be granted permission from anyone to use the repeaters or any of the radio amateur bands. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. I'd also like to encourage all listeners and participants to share the weekly net. Sorry, let me say that again. I'm being distracted by WhatsApp. I'd also like to encourage all listeners and participants to share the weekly net Zoom link with everyone they know throughout South Africa. Doing so will help us grow the weekly net and will contribute to disseminating information as far and wide as possible. So moving on to the COVID-19 figures, of course, World Health Organization being the only one tracking it, or at least officially making posts of what they are tracking. We, in actual fact, have 771,151,224 cases reported by the World Health as at 4 October, compared to the 770,872,000 in the previous week. This is a global increase of 278,791, again, much higher than what the increase reflected in the previous 7 days of 94,000. The global death toll stands at 6,960,783, compared to the 6,959,316. Again, a lot higher this week in terms of the number of deaths being reported, now standing at 1,467, as opposed to the previous week's 817. Okay, let's have a look. Mpox this week, for some strange reason, the website hasn't been updated. So the last figure that I have still stands at 90,618 cases globally, and that was, of course, at the 26th of September 2023. The same thing applies with all the other cases of diphtheria and mumps and all the rest of it. The only figures that I do have available, of course, is the measles figures, which have been included. And of course, I am publishing these, or at least raising these figures weekly in the interest of public health. So as at 2 October 2023, South Africa has 1,202 cases of measles compared to 1,191 of the previous week, which is only 11 new cases. The highest number still at Limpopo, 524 cases, with 222 by the Northwest Province. And of course, Gauteng is catching up quite quickly now, 218. And this week, Gauteng sees an additional 8 new cases. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning. Well, all the news from this last week has really been drowned out by this attack on Israel. And as at approximately 17 hours 30 South African time, the state of Israel has officially declared war, which means that, of course, now the International Committee of the Red Cross will have to step in and become involved and ensure international humanitarian law is upheld on both sides. And well, on all sides, we don't know exactly who all's going to be involved in this. So we'll have to have a look and see. So for those that don't know, on Saturday, Hamas, my apologies, as reported by ABC News at 12:06 this morning, I quote, "This is the first surprise attack on Israel in 50 years. At least 300 people have died and over 2,000 have been injured in Gaza and Israel after rockets were fired from Gaza into Israel by Hamas militants," the Israeli authorities have said. And of course, this was an article published this morning around about midnight, just after midnight. The Palestinian Health Ministry said 232 are dead and 1,790 others are injured in Gaza. And according to the Health Ministry, over 100 people are dead and over 900 others are injured. I must tell you, by about 1,700, these figures had almost tripled in all accounts on both sides of that border. The Israeli Defense Forces have declared a state of alert for war, according to a statement issued by the IDF earlier Saturday morning. And as I say, this was an early morning report. In a surprise attack, Palestinian militants fired at least 2,200 rockets towards Israel, the IDF has said. Hamas claimed at least 5,000 rockets were fired, all landing in southern and central Israel. Early Sunday morning, Israeli police said in a statement the first phase ends in these hours by the destruction of the majority of the enemy forces that penetrated our territory. At the same time, we started the offensive formation, and it will continue without reservation and without respite until the objectives are achieved. Israeli police announced the cabinet decided to supply let me rephrase that. Israeli police announced the cabinet decided the supply of electricity, fuel, and goods to the Gaza Strip will be suspended. We will restore security to the citizens of Israel and we will win, Israeli police said. Right, ZS6 OPS returning. We will have to keep a close eye on this, and hopefully the fighting is ended soon, is my personal opinion. So let's see what happens on that one. Although I must tell you that Netanyahu has said that the Gaza people must in actual fact prepare for a very long and drawn-out war and battle, because he's actually ordered them to leave Gaza, because they're going to flatten it. So this, I think, is something that from a humanitarian perspective is going to be catastrophic for many people. And again, it just highlights the need for organizations such as Gift of the Givers, South African Red Cross Society in our context, other relief organizations, including Disaster Relief Cert. Okay, so let's just have a look and see. Are there any other late check-ins this evening? Let me add you to the list. Otherwise, I'm going to start the shutdown procedure. ZS6 OPS standing by. Okay, nothing heard. Finally, in closing, we encourage everyone to register as a disaster relief cert volunteer and to prepare and train to assist local communities for when disaster strikes. Now, I'd also like to thank all of those who have checked in and those that have listened. And of course, ZS6 SNY is up on Zoom with me this evening. However, as the COVID-19 pandemic is still ongoing and is still infecting thousands weekly, please remember to physically distance yourself and to wear a mask to protect others, especially the elderly who could lose their lives if infected with COVID-19. And of course, remember, it is always best to sanitize and wash your hands on a regular basis in any event. Doing so will assist in stopping the spread of other respiratory diseases as well. So for the week moving forward, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. This is ZS6OPS now releasing 145, correction, the Roodepoort repeater for general use. Cheers all. Okay, so let's stop this.